Good morning, America. Blizzard emergency. East Coast bracing for that monster storm.
Today, I'm declaring a state of emergency.
Blizzard warnings from Washington to New York. More than 2 feet of snow expected in some areas, with wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. Coastal areas fear near record flooding that could rival Hurricane Sandy. Thousands of flights canceled, the nation's capital shutting down, and the South already hit hard overnight. Cars sliding off the road, tornadoes touching down, damaging homes and ripping trees from the ground. More than 70 million Americans in the crosshairs right now.
Donald Trump and Bernie Sanders surging. The stunning new polls just days before the voting begins. Hillary Clinton now on the attack. And Ted Cruz fights back against Donald Trump's latest line of attack. This morning, we speak exclusively to the Texas senator.
Flying under the influence. A pilot arrested for flying passenger planes while drunk, now facing federal charges. How did this captain get behind the controls?
And Clash of the Titans. Two of the biggest names and brands in sports facing off for a trip to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady and Peyton Manning battling on the field and off. Which star will be super?
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
And we do say Good Morning America. And well, if you're snowed in this weekend, at least you have some great football to watch, right? But fans heading to the game in Carolina may have trouble getting there.
And that is a look live right now at Asheville, North Carolina. It looks pretty lovely right now, but it is going to get fierce. And the monster storm has 22 states on alert this morning. Look at that map right there. Thousands of flights are already canceled. And look at the New Jersey coast. These are drone shots coming in right now from Belmar, New Jersey. We just lost it for a sec there.
Beautiful.
But they are working so hard to protect the beaches because they are worried about Hurricane Sandy-like flooding.
Oh, yeah, the quiet before the storm. That blizzard warning in effect from Washington to New York. This storm affecting more than 70 million people. The Washington area expected to be hardest hit. It could be the biggest snowstorm in nearly 100 years.
Here's a live look right now at the radar. It shows just how big the storm is. And, you saw it already sweeping across the South. Dozens of reports of severe weather overnight, including a tornado and massive hail. We do have full team coverage this morning from all across the storm zone. And ABC Steve Osensami starts us off in Asheville. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, George. As you can see, it is really coming down. When we got here to town just a few hours ago, these streets were bare, but take a look at it now. We see at least 1 to 3 inches of snow piling up on the streets here, and they're telling us that in the mountains, it could get up to a foot. Overnight, the storm refused to take a break. A tornado in Mississippi pushed over trees and peeled off roofs, and the threat of more severe weather is spreading to Florida this morning. In Arkansas, drivers are sliding off the roads. This NASA satellite image shows the size of the snowstorm sweeping through the east and south. In all, at least 70 million people are sitting right in the way of punishing weather. At least 6 governors have declared a state of emergency. The D.C. metro area is expecting the worst, a blizzard like they've never seen, as much as 30 inches of snow.
Because of the blizzard coming, they don't want to get stuck here.
Authorities are shutting down the trains all weekend.
We cannot risk putting our customers out there and then leave them stranded.
Truckloads of salt are standing by. In the NFL, the Carolina Panthers have been forced to cancel a pep rally ahead of Sunday's NFC Championship game, while families worried they could be stuck for days clear out supermarket shelves. There were long lines for food and water at this Trader Joe's in D.C. They were only allowing 10 people in at a time.
Take the next 10.
This hardware store in Virginia had to put a limit on the amount of snow equipment that each customer could buy.
The fastest moving thing has been the snow shovels. We're down to like our last few of them.
Authorities here trying to get the word out to families to stay inside because underneath all of this snow, which is as beautiful as can be, is quite dangerous ice. George and Robin.
Well, you can already see it picking up there in Asheville.
We can. And George, as we said, Washington really expected to get slammed from this storm. As much as 2 feet of snow there. One of the worst storms in that city's history. And Rob is in our nation's capital for us this morning. Good morning, Rob.
Good morning, Robin. They don't get more than 20 inches very often. Matter of fact, it's only happened twice, and it may happen again. They are frantically preparing. Depots like this at departments of transportations across much of the east are going to be frantically battling this storm, which really is growing rapidly, and the snow is going to be coming down quickly, too. So they're going to have a hard time keeping up. Look how big this is. The snow is already getting into Virginia, and the backside of this already bringing snow and power outages to parts of Arkansas. The storm will head up the east coast, and we've got blizzard warnings now that are posted from D.C. all the way up to New York. Here's a storm. It gets to the coastline, and it really intensifies there. It taps that moisture, taps that heat content, and throws all that into the cold air. A foot or better in Philadelphia, could get that much in New York City, could get over 2 feet, especially southwest of Washington, D.C., and that certainly would make it historic. Schools are closed today, and the federal government is shutting down at noon. That is right around when the snow is expected to start, and blizzard warnings then up right through Sunday morning, not to mention the winds, George. They are going to be intense, not only here, but along the coast.
And everyone is getting ready. We're going to talk about the coast right now. As you said, coastal flooding expected from Maryland to Connecticut. It could rival Hurricane Sandy. And ABC's Lindsay Janis is in Belmar, New Jersey. Lindsay, this was one of the areas hit hard by Sandy.
It was indeed, George, and as you say, the big concern here at the Jersey Shore is not the snow, but major coastal flooding. Check this out. It is a giant sand dune that's been created to try to protect the homes and properties along the shore here. And look at our drone shot. This thing is already nearly 1.5 miles long, 10 to 15 feet high, and this morning they're out here making it longer. Communities up and down the coastline are going to be racing today, breaking out the bulldozers to create these emergency barriers by tonight. Of course, these communities, some of the hardest hit by Superstorm Sandy, and winds could be up to 65 miles per hour on Saturday, with waves up to 20 feet. One of the reasons they are so concerned about flooding is it is a full moon this weekend, so seas are already high. We could see close to historic storm surges in southern New Jersey. Robin?
All right, Lindsay, thank you very much. It's best to just hunker down if you can, but what if you have to travel? Nearly 2,500 flights canceled already today, almost as many for tomorrow. ABC's David Curley is at Reagan National with that side of the story. Good morning, David.
Morning, Robin. This is the tale of two pictures. Look at this one. This is a beehive of activity, people racing to get out of town. Come this afternoon, and this will be a ghost town. As you mentioned, a lot of flights canceled today, the same amount tomorrow. Could go to 3,000 flights canceled tomorrow. That's because the airlines are basically shutting down for Saturday here in the Mid-Atlantic and the East Coast. In fact, American Airlines is starting to move their planes to the west, away from the storm, to store them during the storm, so there won't even be any planes here come Saturday. 200,000 passengers will be affected by this storm. They're just going to have to wait till later. Most of the airlines are offering waivers if you have to change your ticket. And Robin and George, one other thing, the NFC Championship game, all those Cardinals fans from Arizona, if they haven't gotten there, it's going to be tough to get there for the game on Sunday.
It will be. All right, David. As we said, one like this, it's best to pack a lot of patience. We're going to bring you the latest developments on the storm all morning long, and we'll be checking in with Rob again in just a few minutes. And you can go to GoodMorningAmerica.com on Yahoo for the latest updates on the storm.
Move on to the race for the White House. Just 10 days until the Iowa caucuses. New polls this morning show Donald Trump with a over Ted Cruz in Iowa. Bernie Sanders pulling ahead of Hillary as well. That has Clinton stepping up the attacks on Sanders, and ABC's Cecilia Vega is on the campaign trail in Rapids. Good morning, Cecilia.
George, good morning. Those attacks are swift, and they are not letting up on either side. It is down to the home stretch here in Iowa. The difference between those two rivals vying for first place looked no further than this endorsement overnight.
She completely embodies the concept of women empowerment.
Pop star Demi Lovato center stage with Hillary Clinton.
And I would be so thrilled and honored if you came and caucused for me on February 1st.
Compare that to this new ad from Bernie Sanders, the Vermont senator going retro with a Simon and Garfunkel throwback. With Clinton now facing a possible upset in Iowa and New Hampshire, she is turning up the heat.
You believe the American people are ready to elect a socialist as president of the United States?
It's up to the voters. I know a number of Democrats, people who I highly respect, are concerned and are expressing that concern to me, to journalists and others.
Sanders saying Clinton's campaign is panicking about the polls.
And if we do well in both of those states, I think, my friends, we are looking at one of the great political upsets in the modern history of the United States of America.
In Sin City, the competition just as fierce for the Republicans. Overnight, the National Review, a conservative political magazine, making their message clear with this cover, saying he is not deserving of conservative support and calling him a political opportunist. Trump on the offensive.
People don't even think about the National Review, so I guess they want to get a little publicity, but no, that's a dying paper.
And continuing to hammer rival Ted Cruz.
He's a very strident person. Nobody likes him. I mean, take a look. He's got Republican senators. He doesn't have one endorsement from one senator.
Yeah, he also continued on that birther fight against Ted Cruz. He also weighed in on that magazine cover, calling the National Review a dying publication. So did the RNC. They pounced as well, booting George the magazine as the host from an upcoming debate.
Okay, Cecilia, thanks. That Trump-Cruz battle getting so intense, top Republicans are taking sides. And when I rode with Senator Cruz on his campaign bus in New Hampshire yesterday, I started out by asking him about those new attacks from Trump.
Donald is getting really rattled. I mean, it's amazing. At every event, instead of actually talking about what he wants to do for the country, he just kind of stands up there and attacks me.
People do not like Ted, to put it mildly. And
I like Donald Trump. I'll sing his praises.
Still like him?
Look, he is bold. He's brash. He's an amazing marketer. I mean, this man is an entertainer and marketer par excellence. And so I'm not going to attack him personally. Now, I will draw policy distinctions. I think that's fair game in politics. But the personal insults, no matter how ugly he gets, I will not respond.
You did seem to actually welcome the attack from Bob Dole. But how about the argument he's making? I mean, he repeated that no one likes Ted Cruz, but he also he believes your candidacy, if you're the nominee, is going to cause cataclysmic losses.
Well, you know, he omitted two words from what he meant to say. No one in Washington likes Cruz.
And that doesn't bother you?
Listen, I've said many, many times, the biggest divide we've got in this country politically, it's not between Democrats and Republicans. It's between career politicians in Washington in both parties and the American people.
What do you make of the fact that it seems like at some level, somewhere, a lot of top Republicans are coming around to the idea that Donald Trump would be a more electable nominee than he would be a better nominee?
It's not a question of electability. Listen to what they're saying. You're right that what we're saying is the Washington establishment is abandoning Marco Rubio, and they're rushing to Donald Trump, and they've explained why. Bob Dole yesterday explained why. He said Donald Trump is someone we can make a deal with. We can cut a deal. We can work with him. And listen, if you're someone in this country who thinks we need more Republicans in Washington to cut a deal with the Democrats to agree with Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, then you ought to vote for Donald Trump.
Is he qualified to be commander-in-chief?
Well, you know, that's going to be a determination that the American people are making. And I will say, anyone who wakes up every day and sees a slight drop in the polls and responds in a frenzy of tweets, I would suggest that the next commander-in-chief, instead of living or dying by the daily polls and by the latest Twitter storm, should focus on identifying our enemies and doing whatever is necessary to keep this country safe. And as president, that's what I'm going to do.
You mentioned Marco Rubio. His super PAC, the super PAC who's supporting him, is putting up ads in Iowa right now, questioning your commitment to conservatives, saying you're switching you're switching positions on all kinds of issues.
In the last year alone, Cruz switched on immigration, Syrian refugees, ethanol, trade.
You know, 6 weeks ago, just about every Republican candidate in the field was attacking Donald Trump. Today, just about every Republican candidate in the field is attacking me.
So let's dig in on a couple of the issues on immigration. Donald Trump also says you're weak on immigration. You now believe that a path to legalization is amnesty. But back in 2013, you suggested that there could be a compromise on that. What would the compromise look like?
So look, I understand that Marco Rubio and Donald Trump are trying very, very hard to blur the lines here. But let's start with...
But you did say there could be a compromise.
No, a compromise that secures the borders but doesn't have amnesty.
No, but included a path to legalization.
No, I didn't say that. The lines are real simple. Marco Rubio stood with Chuck Schumer and Barack Obama and advocated for citizenship and amnesty for 12 million people here illegally. I stood with Jeff Sessions and Steve King and led the opposition that defeated amnesty. And I would note at that time, right in the middle of the fight, Donald Trump was publicly supporting amnesty. And by the way, you know, if you look more broadly, why